What's so cool about outer space? Futuristic name. Space clothes. Or armor.
High-tech weapon.
Personal memento. From space. Something else.
These aren't all the rules.
What's happening right now in outer space? Notorious smuggling outfit, the Laster Pig, is looking for new blood to crew their next job. They promise beautiful sights and luxurious accommodation as long as the cargo doesn't get loose. Pursue the yellow Dragonian grill you're transporting is very sweet once you get to know her.
Stop.
What's so cool about the wastes?
Mad Max.
You've got some stuff, like this stuff. You had a job before the apocalypse. You have to
Survive.
with these rules. There's some oil rain. That's so cool. Make your own rules. And what's so cool about magic portals? Isekai? It's totally isekai. Yeah. This here, this is isekai. When I was in film school, there was a 48-hour film contest every year, and I never participated. The only opinions I had on it were negative, so I never thought that I should bother with it. I thought, what was the purpose? What did it prove? That the kids with the more hookups, film gear, and free time could arguably produce a better short film than someone who had true skill in the craft of film? But since they had to work at the fucking Amazon warehouse that weekend, they couldn't get the free time, so fuck them, I guess. It was an opportunity aimed at the upper crust of people already privileged enough to be at film school to begin with, so now I'm just stuck here wondering, what's so cool about jams? Well, what's so cool about cute mythical girls dating each other? I can't believe you even have to ask this. Angels.
Cat girls.
Ghouls, or anything else. My name is now Poppy. Quirks, habits, home or lair. Every 100 years, a dragon wakes up beneath the city with intent to destroy it, and only a powerful spell can force it back asleep once more. You must gather the ingredients for the spell in time to perform the arcane ritual at midnight. What happens then is unclear. Some texts say the dragon will awaken and then return to slumber. Some say she will engage in the final part of the ritual herself. Oh God. What's so weird about acid fantasy? Alien tongue names? I get to draw? The rail lands.
Soul survivors.
Things are really hard. Look at this guy.
And what's so damn hot about hell?
Rejecting form. Jobs. In hell. I am suffering. I am elated. I am being swallowed. Tears. Tears? Tears? Both?
6, 6, 6.
The What's So Cool Jam has been going on since July 9th, and it has another month left to go. It spawned from someone seeing something and wanting more of that thing. So they set up the stage, pulled the curtain back, and ever since, 81 people have shown up to perform. They've really put on a fucking jam. There's no contest either. There are no judges. No one's going to Cannes Film Festival for their short game about spice. No one gets anything but the chance to jam. The one time I visited New York, I had the privilege of staying with and being carted around by this renowned jazz producer. Poop Butt. His name is Poop Butt. The one time I visited New York, I had the privilege of staying with and being carted around by a renowned jazz producer who was far too old to be spitting the dust that was caked on the inside of his mouth. But he crashed his van up and down the tight Manhattan streets, taking my friend and I to jazz clubs. There wasn't a song I knew or can remember the name of now. And the beauty of it is, those songs will never be played again. Not a single one. Because they were all jam sessions. The musicians stacked up on the stage and riffed off one another, taking turns, cutting each other off, or smashing their way into their own solo that would spawn from the frets and the keys and the whatever these things on the saxophone are called, plugs, spouts, I don't know, and morph into their own songs, their own aura. The songs were created and murdered all in the span of a couple bars. The energy there is something I'll never forget, even though the songs have faded. So I ask again,
What's so cool about dragons?
you get to be a dragon, hello? With a dragon name and a dragon spell and dragon weapon, impressive treasure, old dragon jobs, and dragons do things. The humans you had for dinner were not fresh. You're about to get very ill, and the only cure is in the hands of a terrible necromancer in the Tindril Swamp. To add insult to injury, the necromancer despises dragons. I think the term jam session originated in the cellar, Mesro said. He went by the name Jelly Roll because of a song he was obsessed with playing all the time. Someone was always yelling, "Hey Jelly, what are you gonna do?" And almost every time I'd say, "Jelly's gonna jam some." To him, it was just a play on words, and really that's just one of the possible origins of the phrase. There's a lot of different stories behind it, but hey, this one's a good story. What's so fascinating about jam sessions is that they are the essence of freedom. No prep goes into it besides the honing of your craft over the years. There's no sheet music, and while you might start playing a song you all know, after a minute it won't be recognizable anymore. All structures that go into the pop music that we know are twisted and turned in for something imbued with I spelled it wrong in the doc, so it makes it hard to read. With improvised life, yeah. All the structures that go into the pop music we know now are twisted and turned in for something imbued with improvised life. Jam musician, jammers, can I call them jammers? Play not for the audience, but for themselves, almost as a challenge, trying to one-up one another and show off their chops. But more than that, it's pure expression for the sake of expression. Whether you get a song or an album out of it, that's not the point. The point is the jam. Looking back at it, that was the energy that was missing entirely from the 48-hour film festival. You couldn't win a jam session. Sure, you might get some bragging rights, but you wouldn't walk home with a ticket to the Jam Session Olympics. And you definitely couldn't succeed at a jam just because you had the best looking guitar or the newest drum kit. It was all skill, being able to think on your toes and riff off of your fellow musicians. As Elvin Jones said about John Coltrane when asked how they could improvise so well together, he said, "You've got to be willing to die with the motherfucker." I wouldn't have died for anyone in that film school. The pretension alone was enough to make me want to drop out. But a jam session is closer to what I had with my high school friends before college, when we'd take a camera out into the backyards and cornfields to record something, anything. Who knew what? We sure as hell didn't. But we threw out ideas until something caught the laugh button, and we went full tilt on it until we couldn't stand to laugh anymore. It's the sort of energy you only find in cooperation with other people, when you develop a language that only you all know, when you're willing to die with them. So I ask again, what's so cool about time loops, Mighty Thews, crime, strict time records, monster blood, witches, neon fantasy, mecha battles, the city of Ember Ashcans, living in a magic city, giant robots? There are a lot of jams on itch.io, and if you dig into the tabletop side of them, you're going to find something that blows you away. Because the essence of a tabletop role-playing game is all about those feelings of being at a jam session already. A group of people gathered to play a story, and they use their dice or cards or tokens as their instruments. Ideas bounce from one to another, pick up speed, get passed off, change gears, new things develop and die out, and then someone comes in and drops the biggest bomb on your new fictional life, and your jaw drops, and you are left in awe. The kind of awe that you will talk about right after the game ends, and the next day, and the week after that. It's as real as anything else now, and it will be with you forever. Perhaps like me, the exact music will fade, but the energy, the emotion, it will live forever. The What's So Cool Jam has been going on since July 9th, and it has another month left to go. It spawned from someone seeing something and wanting more of that thing. It's a place for you to experiment and stretch your fingers between projects and perhaps find the next big thing to work on. There's something inside of a game jam, and this game jam in particular, that you will not find in Wizards of the Coast's big project this year or a fancy Kickstarter. It's a place where you won't be judged and you can't lose. All you can do is jam.
I think it's time we blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.